Uh-oh.
In her last two fights. Good way hitting him from that way down.
Welcome to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. The latest out of the women's bantamweight division this Saturday, reigning, defending, unified champion Dina Thorslund will return to action to take on Turkey's own Cerin in a fight that was supposed to have happened already. But Cetin suffered some kind of injury, and she wasn't medically cleared to fight, so the fight got postponed.
It was something like that, a cut or something.
But the fight got postponed. Thus, Dina Thorslund ended up fighting Spain's own Mary Romero instead, and she stopped her.
State champion.
I think she's going to stay a champion this weekend. I think she's going to beat Cetin because stylistically, Dina's style is all wrong for Cetin, and she's already a more experienced fighter. Been a champion at 2 weight classes.
122, currently at 118.
More fights, more rounds in the bank with better fighters than many of the fighters that Cetin has fought so far. Being honest with you, Cerin doesn't need this fight right now.
But they're willing to have it, so I'm willing to watch.
Cetin is best described as a mid-range to inside pressure fighter, volume puncher. Very aggressive.
With leaky defense.
Where Dina is a bit more malleable, more nuanced. She's more of a boxer-puncher. She can box when she needs to, punch when she needs to, alternate between the two. At times, she's the aggressor, walking down her opponent, wearing him out.
Adaptable.
Athletic and very bouncy, on her toes, throwing those leaping left hooks to the body.
Rapid-fire combinations.
Dina's the best in show at 118 pounds right now. She really is, and I'd give her very good odds to beat the other 2 champions at this weight, Shernika Johnson, newly crowned WBA champion, and Miyo Yoshida of Japan, reigning IBF champion. I'd give Dina very good odds to beat the both of them, let alone a greenhorn
like Cerin.
Cetin.
I don't think she's ready for this fight.
But they do. So what's working against Cetin is that her approach is far too simple. She's really only got one gear and one way of fighting a fight, and that's marching forward, throwing punches and bunches. But against someone who's faster,
Stronger.
because I do think Dina is stronger than Cetin, that she packs more power in a single punch than Cetin does, but she's actually a combination puncher, so put 2 and 2 together.
Staying on her toes, in and out, playing at the angles, shooting those counters.
She's gonna catch Cetin coming in, she is. Cetin also punches a lot wider than Dina Thorslund. Her punches are not defensible because they're wider.
Doesn't protect herself properly.
When you're the aggressor, the fighter that's coming forward, you're more likely to be hit. You're more likely to take on oncoming fire.
There are ways to work around that, but Cetin has not yet developed those skills to come forward in a high guard, catching and shooting as you do it.
Or slipping punches on the way in, slipping hooks, slipping counter.
Rolling counter.
I don't think Cetin is a bad fighter. I think she's a green fighter. That's why I keep telling you, I don't think she's ready for this fight, but the fight is made, and it's going down on Saturday, the way I see it, where normally Cetin's aggression works for her, helps her wear out her opponents. Against Dina, it's gonna work against her. Seen this stylistic matchup many times before. Think Jaron Ennis versus Roman Villa, where Roman Villa's aggression worked for him with Rashidi Ellis, it worked against him with Jaron Ennis.
It was target practice for Jaron Ennis, where Jaime Munguia's aggression worked for him with John Ryder, it worked against him with Canelo.
Same stylistic matchup, the pressure fighter versus the boxer puncher. The boxer puncher's advantage is they can box when they need to and punch when they need to. They can mitigate the exchanges by alternating between offense and defense sequence seamlessly, whereas the pressure fighter, they're a lot more linear. They've got a one-track mind.
They want to go, they want to throw.
Which makes for an entertaining fight, but it doesn't work every single time on the night.
So I've got Dina.
I have to commend Serin, Cetin, and her team's confidence going into this fight because it's happening in Dina's neck of the woods. It's happening in Denmark. They're taking on really one of the best fighters in the sport right now. Best fighter in the division.
Unified champion.
I admire Serin Cetin's courage, though I don't like her chances. No, I think Dina Thorslund, she's going to keep her 2 alphabet titles this weekend. She's going to get the job done. I've got Dina Thorslund by way of knockout or technical knockout this Saturday. Men's heavyweight news. Farrell Crotch had this to say on Tyson Fury's corner during this past weekend's action. He said, 3 people, including Big John Fury, the fighting man, when you've got him in the corner shouting and screaming at you, while you've got 2 other people giving you advice, that means you're listening to absolutely nobody. I thought that was terrible and really unprofessional in his corner. Well,
He decided to have him there.
maybe I'm getting old, but I don't remember John having such an active role in Fury's corner in previous fights. This is the only one I can remember where he's in there alongside Sugar Hill Stewart.
There's a power struggle.
There is tension there because the last year or so, you've seen John Fury undermine Tyson Fury's training team, more specifically Sugar Hill Stewart. He's been doing that for a while, so it feels like there's a power struggle between the trainer and the fighter's father.
Is that why Fury lost?
I guess that all depends on who you ask. If you ask me, he's never fancied this fight, and if you've been following this channel the last 2 years, you will have heard me say that more than once. Tyson Fury never wanted to do the dance with Usyk, but they offered him so much money to do it, how could he say no?
Usyk makes him nervous. I said that right before the fight.
Carl Froch said the same thing. Carl Froch said he believes Tyson Fury was nervous before fighting Alexander Usyk. He said, I thought in the build-up, I've never seen Fury look so nervous, agitated, and on edge. In the face-off, he didn't want to look at him. He looked like he'd been abusing somebody in the car, and then they'd pulled up next to him at the next traffic lights. I thought he was a nervous guy, Fury. I thought he stepped into the ring with not a great deal of confidence that he could actually beat Usyk. That would explain...
The showboating?
In the first 2 rounds of the fight, which I scored for Alexander Usyk, Usyk's going to work. That's what he's doing, while Tyson Fury is playing to the crowd. The fight just started.
What are you showboating for?
You're moving around, but you're not throwing punches. You're making faces into the audience. The fight just started. Are you trying to convince them that you're not nervous? Are you trying to convince them? Are you trying to convince yourself?
Bit soon for the dog and pony show.
I had a couple of the Google MDs try to give me shtick for suggesting the night before the fight that Fury looks nervous.
These experts on human behavior said otherwise.
But when you see how the guy was acting in the build-up of the fight, and you see that the first 2 rounds, he's spending it shaking and shimmying and making faces.
You trying to pretend that you're not scared or something?
Carl Froch continued, he's been a fantastic fighter, unbelievable career, but he's not what he's telling everybody or what John Fury's telling everybody.
No man born of his mother can beat him.
He's been humbled.
Think Carl Froch watches the relay? Because that sounds an awful lot like what I've been telling you here on this channel.
Boxing is a small world, so I wouldn't be surprised, though at the same time, great minds really do think alike. And you don't need to be Sigmund Freud to figure out, to see through Tyson Fury's facade.
Sherrod.
He's overrated. And I've been saying he's overrated. I've been saying it for years. Now, being overrated doesn't mean you're not a good fighter. It doesn't mean you're not elite. It just means
You're not as good as you let on. You're not as good as people think you are.
that's what makes you overrated. You're good. You're good. But you're not that good. Too many people have been apologizing for Tyson Fury's shenanigans too long, apologizing for Tyson Fury's character flaws whenever he says or does something stupid.
Did you see what the WBC posted on their Instagram page?
An appreciation post for the Gypsy King. Thanks for representing the green and gold with pride. Thanks for inspiring us. Thanks for proving impossible is nothing. Thank you, Tyson Fury. There is only one Tyson Fury.
You want to suck his dick now or later?
One of the more iconic images from the fight is after it was over and the judges' scorecards were read, the forlorn look on Mauricio Suleiman's face, because it's not a secret. Everybody knows. He would have preferred that Tyson Fury stay WBC champion than Usyk.
Why?
Well, I'm just brainstorming. I'm just bouncing ideas around. But if I had to guess why the WBC is so openly partial towards Tyson Fury when they're supposed to be an impartial party.
You're not supposed to play favorites the way that you do, but you do and you do it all the time. Why?
It's likely because they don't have the arrangement with Team Usyk that they have had with Tyson Fury ever since he became champion. If I had to guess why they're so partial, it's because behind closed doors, Tyson Fury's been paying these guys kickbacks.
Somebody has.
I remember not that long ago, they held off on crowning a mandatory challenger for Tyson Fury, even though he hadn't fought for most of last year.
They froze their ranks
To where there was no mandatory challenger. Only recently did one get crowned this past weekend in Agit Kabayel.
They held off on crowning a mandatory challenger for Tyson Fury as to not allow someone to pester him. They even suggested they should use 6 judges to score this weekend's fight and not the customary 3.
6 judges. We got a hard enough time getting 3 judges to score a fight the right way. You want to add more?
Of course they do.
And these 3 additional judges, whose judges would they have been? Your officials? People that you appoint? You designate?
Since you're the one that came up with this bright idea.
This is a big part of the reason I don't like Tyson Fury. I don't like his fan base. I don't like the plaudits and the praise that he gets. I don't like it.
So when Carl Froch says that Tyson Fury isn't as good as people think, that he's not who his father says he is, he's not who he says he is.
That's a breath of fresh air. I'm not the only one saying it.
WBC wants to glaze this guy that single-handedly embarrassed the sport of boxing late last year, getting knocked on his ass by a guy who had 0 pro experience.
You'd let this charlatan bring the entire sport of boxing down a peg just to maintain this illusion of who he is.
The Gypsy King.
You'd let him damage the sport's image and the sport's reputation even further than it's already damaged, because the sport's got its own problems without Tyson Fury making it look bad.
He made it look worse. And it took for Anthony to right the wrongs of Tyson Fury.
Mean that when Tyson and those around him go off with insulting and disrespectful and diminishing comments about others, everyone's just got to accept it and say, okay, Tyson Fury's got bipolar, so we just price that in. When he starts insulting people, which he does regularly, when he starts diminishing people and making personal observations about people, which he does regularly, everyone's just got to say we all must feel sorry for Tyson because he's got bipolar, and all the acolytes around him, all his management team that come out with the same sort of nonsense as well, his father's behaviour over in Saudi, everyone's just got to sit there and say, no, Tyson, we all must now price that into our thinking and give him a pass on it, Frank.
It's a legitimate question, isn't it? When is Tyson Fury mentally ill? When exactly? And when are we supposed to treat him as such? And when is he perfectly fine? Perfectly okay as far as the commission is concerned. Perfectly okay to fight. Perfectly okay to win.
He receives the praise easy enough, but not the criticism. The criticism, he can't handle that.
Now Tyson Fury has confirmed that he will trigger the rematch clause to fight Usyk again in October. From now to October, that's a long time. And Tyson Fury's bipolar. Psychologically, can he handle defeat? Can he do that?
If he is in fact bipolar.
He's prided himself on his unbeaten record, that when he left the sport the first time, it wasn't because he was defeated, he was battling mental demons, all of that. I'm sure that the investigation by UCAD, him testing positive for nandrolone, I'm sure that had nothing to do with it.
No, he was battling his demons.
It's very easy to take shots at everybody when you intermittently retire from the sport. It's very easy to take shots at those who may have lost a fight when you haven't lost one yourself, at least not on paper. But what about now?
You want a rematch?
You got it. Alexander Usyk's promoter, Alex Krassyuk, has insisted that they will honor the Tyson Fury rematch. We are men of our words. It's not about paperwork. If we shake hands and we promise something, we do it. I see no reason for the rematch not to take place.
I'm still not convinced the rematch will happen. But if it does, I've got Usyk beating him better.
Better than he did this past weekend. Oh, Tyson Fury, he can try to put on some more weight like he did with Wilder to overpower the smaller man. He can try to do that, try to come forward more, but you know, it's coming forward.
In the 9th round.
The most dramatic, the most memorable, it's in the 9th round as Tyson Fury was coming forward and putting punches together that he was countered, and subsequently ragdolled. There's a reason that Tyson Fury spent the majority of this fight moving lateral, on the defensive, trying to keep the smaller man out. There's a reason that he didn't build upon those body shots that he did land.
It was only really 1 and 2 punches at a time. Why didn't he build on it?
And why didn't he bully Alexander Usyk, who's smaller than Deontay Wilder? Why didn't he bully Usyk the way he bullied Wilder? Why didn't he come forward more? What happened in the 9th round?
That's it.
That's why.
He came forward, he's putting punches together, and he gets caught in between. Gets caught in between the shots with a right hand, then a left. The left sends him careening into the ropes, and he's on Queer Street.
First good, hard shot that lands. Busts his nose all up. Some more good, hard shots land, and he's on Queer Street. He's ready to go. He's ready to fall down.
Contrary to popular opinion, I don't think Tyson Fury has the best chin. I don't. I don't think a guy who's been floored as many times as he's been floored has the best punch resistance. Now, maybe he's got good powers of recovery, but he really don't take the best shot.
No, I don't think he does. Pychek puts you down, Cunningham puts you down, Wilder puts you down 4 times, a novice who never had a boxing match puts you down, Usyk, he puts you down. The ropes are the only thing that held you up.
That's a knockdown.
I don't think Fury takes the best punch. I don't. And it's for that reason that I think he wasn't more aggressive. Where some people expected him to be, they expected him to do to Usyk what he did to Wilder. And what have I been telling you since this fight was announced? You can't do that. It won't work.
Usyk's not a one-handed fighter.
Too much is being made of what limited success Tyson Fury had in the fight. The body shots. The body shots that he didn't build on, didn't capitalize on.
What about him?
What about how Usyk broke his nose? What about that? That's before the dramatic 9th round. What about Usyk and that overhand shot that smashed Tyson Fury's nose all up?
He's gonna need time to recover from that.
After the fight, Fury said that he broke Alexander Usyk's jaw, that he had to go to the hospital. Now, Frank Warren has confirmed that the injury suffered by Usyk was down to an impacted tooth implant, and not a broken jaw, as first suspected.
Leave it to Tyson Fury to exaggerate.
I mean, hey, toothaches really do hurt, they do. But I don't think his toothache is as bad as your broken nose. You're gonna need time to recover, and in the time that you're recovering and dealing with your first recorded loss on paper, do you really want this?
Do you?
You really want to fight this guy again? I don't think you do, because I don't think you wanted to fight him the first time.
And I said, Dina, I said, if I can't beat old Vlad, I must be useless. And I'll say it again. If I can't beat Usyk, I'm no good, clearly. That's your headline. If Tyson Fury can't beat Usyk, Tyson's no good. End of.
And now you want redemption after carrying on the way you've been carrying on, and your supporters carrying on
The way that they've been carrying on.
You can try, but you'll fail. You'll get beat again. You'll get beat twice.
Screenshot it, screen record it, do what you gotta do.
You can. Tyson Fury had a lot to say about Anthony Joshua's 2 losses to this same fighter. Are you ready to lose 2 times? Because that's what's going to happen.
Are they gonna tell Fury to retire like they told AJ to retire?
At no point in any of those 2 fights AJ had did he get treated like a ping pong ball the way Fury did this past weekend.
But they told him to retire.
Sat on your ass by an MMA fighter who never had a boxing match. Beaten silly by a cruiserweight.
You peaked.
You peaked already, my friend. It's all downhill from here.